Welcome to the Jamesburg Presbyterian Church. Today is Wednesday, November the 11th, 2020. It is Veterans Day, and we'll start by thanking all of our veterans for your service to our country. I want to talk today about problems. Problems are things that all of us face from time to time in our lives. We live in a very troubling world. There are a lot of things going on, but I'll use it for my example today, the problem of COVID-19. Back in March, when our world was confronted with the reality of COVID-19 and the governor of New Jersey issued an executive order closing a lot of things, including churches, I was faced with the immediate problem of how do I keep my ministry going? How do I keep it going given the circumstances that I was facing? So the first thing I did was acknowledge that I had a problem. And then once I was over the initial disturbance of it, getting myself under control, I lifted this up to God. I did. I went into prayer because I know that, and the scriptures tell us that we should lift all of these things up to God. And I just asked not for a solution, but for the gift of discernment. I then started doing some research, looked at my options, discovered that one of the easiest things that I could do was set up a Facebook page and go Facebook live stream. Since then, we've been able to add to the things that we're doing, including YouTube videos. We can now live stream on YouTube. But the initial solution to the problem was bringing my congregation together through Facebook live streaming. So this is how we should deal with problems in our lives. First of all, acknowledge the problem, get over the emotions that we're immediately facing, lift it up to God, ask for the gift of discernment, do some looking at the various options that we have, and then put one into our lives, implement one of the options. Whether that is dealing with a serious illness, I did the same thing when I was diagnosed with cancer, whether it's dealing with the troubling things going on in our nation right now, all of these things, the solution to them is the order that I just gave you. Acknowledging the problem, getting over the initial emotions, lifting it up to God, asking for discernment, looking at our options, doing some homework, and then picking an option and using it. All things are possible. Now, we may not always get what we want. To use the philosophy of those great philosophers, the Rolling Stones, you can't always get what you want, but if you try sometime, you might find you get what you need. And certainly we can always get that. So let me demonstrate this for you. I want to show you an illusion. And the illusion that I started off with, the problem that I created for myself is how do I do a transportation? That is, moving an object from one place to another place. And how can I do it in a way that is convincing for an audience? Is it possible? So I looked at a number of different options. I didn't lift this one up to God because this is something entirely different. But I did do some thinking about it, some reflection about it. This did not come to me in a matter of seconds. This was several days of thinking about how can I do this transportation. And I came up with this solution. There were certainly other options that I could use, but I think I came up with a solution that works for me. So the first thing I want to do is reach into my green box over here. You probably can't see it because it's offline, but I'm going to leave some space because I want to come up and show you in Facebook, and then I'll hold it up for the YouTube camera, what my objects are. The first is a water bottle. Got this at Stop and Shop. I think it's Voss or something like that. Anyway, it's a clear water bottle. It's plastic, and let me come up and show you pretty close up that there are no holes in it except for the hole that the cap goes on. Next, I'm going to show you the lid. And the lid also has no trapdoors or secret compartments. I'm going to use my very fancy magic wand here to tap on here, the lid. You can hear it solid. And once again, I'm going to come up to the camera and show this to you. We'll leave it out here. I'm going to leave all these things out here for now. All right. Now, what I want to transport is a white handkerchief. And I'm not giving this handkerchief any kind of meaning. I just want, well, actually, I have to do one other thing first. I'm going to take and make this really hard. I'm going to put the lid onto the bottle. I'm going to take the top of the crayon off. I'm going to actually put this bottle into the crayon. I'm going to put the crayon lid back on, like so. And now the bottle is secure in there. I can't do any kind of sleight of hand stuff. Now I'm going to show you the white handkerchief. Okay. So here's the white handkerchief that I want to transport to that water bottle. As I said, all things are possible. If you think about it, there's a solution to every problem. And if we call this a kind of problem, it's a fun kind of problem to have. I mean, it's not earth-shaking, but it's a fun kind of problem to have. There's a solution, and I want to show you that solution. Handkerchief is solid. I'm going to take the handkerchief and put it into the palm of my hand. And all I'm doing is making the molecules of the handkerchief very, very small. Very, very small. Now, you got to keep your eyes on this hand because this is where all of the action is going to occur. The action is going to occur from here to over to the crayon. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is show you that, in fact, the problem that I created for myself in the beginning is solvable. But let me review it. First, identifying the problem in our lives, getting over the initial emotions so that we've got our heads on right. Lifting the problem up to God, looking at our options. This was one of my options in regard to this problem. Looking at our options, picking one of those options that will work for us and implementing it. So this is the option that I picked, this green crayon coin box. And as you can see, it worked. You can make the problems in your life work too for you. You can solve the things that are troubling you. Sometimes what we have to do is be able to live with the problem. It may not be our favorite thing, but it's one of the options. But certainly as we live our lives, nothing should tear us down because all things are possible, especially when we put our problems in God's hands. This coming Sunday, we will once again be doing a live streaming of the church service. I invite you to attend. It's not a communion Sunday. We are looking at December to make some determinations about how we will do December. Looks like there might be some increases in the COVID problems in our state. We will also be doing a Bible study next Tuesday, and it's the parable of the 10 bridesmaids. I hope you'll tune in for that. It's in Matthew's Gospel in chapter 25. Read the whole chapter. It's a great chapter to read, Matthew's Gospel, chapter 25. And then next Wednesday, once again, we'll be doing another live stream of a devotion. Thank you very much for watching. Stay well, stay safe, stay connected to God. Thank you.